What's up YouTube? Let's talk about Bareshaft tune arrows if you don't have an arrow saw. So when I first started out, I did not have an arrow saw. I have one now, but I know that it's kind of a big leap to spend upwards of $200 on an arrow saw whenever we're just first starting out in traditional archery. I would highly recommend everybody that shoots traditional archery have one, just because it's gonna allow you to finely tune your arrows to where you can shoot whatever weight broadhead you want, whatever length arrow you want, especially if you start getting into like fixed crawls and aiming with your arrow tip and stuff like that. You can actually change your point on distance with different length arrows and such as that, but it's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about you don't have an arrow saw, but you want to get perfect arrow flight. Okay, so say you know you want to hunt with lighted nocks. Definitely put your lighted nock in before you start tuning your arrows. And if your arrow's not fletched, take some electrical tape and wrap about 5 inches of electrical tape around, and that equals about the same weight as 3 fletchings. So you want the weight on the back of your arrow to be about the same as when you're Bareshaft tune as what it's going to be after you fletch your arrow. Let me talk one more thing. When you're shooting at your target, make sure you elevate it so you shoot straight into it. It makes it a lot easier to tell if you're knock high or knock low. Instead of shooting low or shooting up into something, just try to shoot straight on. So I have my target here on a 55-gallon drum and shoot straight into it. So without talking anymore, let's get to shooting. Thanks, guys. You have a full-length arrow that you bought just from like a big box store or something that has fletchings on it already, and it's still full length, but it's got an insert. Just take a razor knife and cut the feather part of these fletchings off and leave the quill on your arrow still, and that'll kind of simulate the weight of your fletchings. And then you're just going to change your point weight. Okay, so this is a 225 grain field point. Let's shoot this thing, and I think this is going to hit a little weak, and then we'll go from there, and I'll try to change the point weight and get it hitting square for you. Alright, so let's back up. There we go. Alright, now I forgot to tell you, I changed my knock height while I had the video paused. So you can see, maybe you can't see, but I can see from where I'm shooting that my knock height is not too high, it's not too low, it's perfectly in line from where I'm shooting. You can see my fingers there. My knock height is in line as far as not being too high or too low, but I'm hitting really weak. I'm hitting on the right side of my line that I'm aiming at here. I'm aiming right for the center. I'm hitting on the right side of that, and I'm very far knocked left, which tells me I need to drop my point weight pretty significantly to get this arrow to hit more square, but still where I'm aiming. So let's do that. I'm going to drop down to, see, this is 250, I think it was. I'm going to drop down to a 175 or a 200, and we'll see how it flies then. So here we go. Okay, back with you. Same arrow with a 175 grain point in the tip. So take a shot with it, see if we can get some perfect flight here, and then talk about it. Alright, that's about as perfect I think as we're gonna get. Yeah, I'm looking straight down the arrow there. That's pretty perfect. Okay, might look a little different on camera. Try to get you lined up. Alright, that's my view from seeing it. Okay, so I'm dead center of my line that I'm aiming at here, and I'm not knocked high, I'm not knocked low, and I'm not knocked left, I'm not knocked right. This thing's flying perfectly straight. Okay, so I would say the perfect point weight, and I would probably, especially if you're just starting out and you haven't figured out your release yet, so you're a little inconsistent, maybe you drop your bow arm or bring it down a little bit, you don't really have a good follow through, you pluck your string sometimes, just whatever issue you're working on. I would shoot it, 5 times, just kind of average it out. I wouldn't change it every time I shoot. I would just kind of make sure, just double check yourself and make sure that you're getting good arrow flight with this. Don't just shoot it one time and go, okay, it's good. Take your time with it, because it's going to make a huge difference in your accuracy and the efficiency of your bow. Okay, so I'll pause the video and we'll back up here and talk a little bit more about it. Okay guys, so just to recap, that's how I would suggest you Bareshaft tune your arrows, and um, you can also change up your to shoot what broadhead you're looking for. Okay, so say this is a 500 spine arrow, or sorry, a 400 spine arrow out of a 45-pound bow, and this is just a standard insert with a 175 grain head, right? So I could probably just say, okay, my total is going to be 175 up front ish, to be pretty close. So maybe I'll do a 50 grain insert and 125 grain broadhead, and have the same weight up front. And I mean, you would have to test it obviously, because this insert's a lot longer, so you're changing how much of your arrow can flex when this is in there. This insert's only about this long here, so you're changing the spine a little bit, but it's normally pretty close, to be honest with you, because I've done a lot of testing with this stuff, so it's normally pretty close. And I would suggest whenever you get started to use hot melt on all your inserts, especially while you're testing, because it's very easy to just hold your arrow in your hand like this, get a pair of pliers, take your lighter and just heat up your field point. You know, it usually takes about 30 seconds. Drop your lighter, grab your field point with your pliers and just pull on it, and it'll slide right out with hot melt. And then you'll take your lighter and heat up your other insert, and you can just drag it across the, you can see where I've used this one already. This is the newest one I had that actually looks like full block still, but I just drag it across here a few times like this, get some glue on it, heat it up again, and just slide it back down in there and twist it, make sure it's, you know, spin test it, make sure that it's rotating good. But yeah, I mean, that's the couple tips I would give you. Again, use hot melt. Try to keep your arrow weight on the back about the same as what you're going to be hunting with. Get your knock high and low flight out first before you start trying to change point weights. Yeah, just shoot it, you know, 2 or 3 times with whatever weight you decide on, just to kind of double check yourself and make sure that you didn't get just a bad release or something with it. And that's how you do it. It's as simple as that. And like I said, you can change insert weights to figure out what broadhead you want to shoot. Like if you want to shoot a 175 grain broadhead, grizzly stick samurais are a great head, so you can keep the standard inserts. Like in this specific case, you can keep that standard insert and just shoot a 175 grain head, not have to worry about anything. But say you land on something weird like maybe your arrow tune's great with 300 grains, but you don't want to shoot a big old 300 grain head for some reason. You can put a 100 grain brass insert in here, which I have a bunch of those too. You put one of these 100 grain brass inserts in there, and then shoot a 200 grain head. Or like I said, you got a 175. You could do a 50 grain insert with a 125 grain head. But whatever you decide on, make sure you check it again. Make sure you didn't change the spine up too much, and you shouldn't really have any problems. So that's the way that I would Bareshaft tune arrows if I didn't have an arrow saw. I'll make another video about how I actually do it now. This is kind of like how to get by. I mean, it's going to get it close. As you can see, it works because we just got perfect arrow flight with a Bareshaft at, you know, probably a solid 10 yards. I mean, that's a pretty far shot. And so yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, by December. I think I'm up to over 100 now. I just started making videos I think last week, just trying to help everybody out. And yeah, so my goal is 1,000 subscribers in a couple months. So help me out, subscribe, and I appreciate you watching. Thanks, guys.